Hey everybody, I am Rebel Son. This is my first video. I've been saying I was going to do a video and I've just kind of been a little reluctant. I wanted to observe and see everything that was going on, to just wet my feet first. I came across this sector that we're in by way of Phi Babe. I remember hearing her, watching a few videos, and I was very intrigued. So I liked her commentary, and I was like, okay. By way of her, I came across Jay Wilson. And I was just sold on those two YouTubers. And from Phi Babe to Jay Wilson, and I was listening to Tracy as well. So I subscribed to all three of them around the same time. And Phi Babe I remember my first video seeing her, she was talking about Larry Nelson, and she was also talking about she felt that a pastor could be gay and still be a pastor. You know, he could still have the calling to be a preacher, pastor. So I really thought, wow, I really like this girl. She's really cool. So I watched her and Jay Wilson and Tracy for months and months, during the whole VS fiasco, Larry Nelson beefing with VS. So from there, I knew that I wanted to be a YouTuber just by seeing Phi Babe and Jay Wilson and Tracy. I'm not going to take anything away from anyone that I looked up on when I first came into this sector. So flash forward a few months after seeing Jay Wilson, I was out and about in Austin. And who do I run into? He was at work. He was working for his company at the club, because he does prep. He sells prep. He's a spokesperson, to get prep into the community for those that need it. So I saw him and I was like, oh my God, this is the guy from YouTube. I instantly recognized him. So I walk up to Jay Wilson and I was like, hey, are you on YouTube? Is your name Jay Wilson? Jay looked at me like a fly had fallen into his drink. He was like, he looked at me with this strange look. And I said, well, I seen you on YouTube and I like your videos. I'm a subscriber. I follow you on YouTube. He said, oh, okay, thank you, man. And Jay Wilson, he beat a hasty retreat. So from that initial meeting, I thought he was an a-hole. I was like, why was this guy acting weird like that? I like him online, but I meet him in person and he's acting standoffish. And I got later where he was coming from. When I spoke with him and we became cool, I understood. And I understand it even more so now that I've been in the sector and I've seen all the stuff that goes on. So, but the very next day, there was a brunch that I attended with my friends that I had came to Austin with. And who do I run into at the brunch? Jay Wilson. Jay Wilson came to the table that my friends and I were sitting at. And, he introduced himself again. And I was like, okay, well, he seems a lot more relaxed now. He seems more even keel. So Jay Wilson talked, he laughed with us, he was very cool. we exchanged numbers then because I told him, I come to Austin and it's good to meet other people. And you could just you can meet other people and you can have platonic friendships, business relationships, and I got a good vibe from him after that. So we talked for months. Cool guy, and we were just cool. So he started after that talking about maybe doing something for Labor Day, the upcoming year. But then he changed his mind because, the craziness going on, but then he decided to do it again. Well, Jay Wilson set the date. I was excited to come and meet other people. And I knew I wanted to do a YouTube channel, but I just didn't want to let people into my life like that because I saw, and I got what Jay was saying when we talked after our initial meeting, when he was saying there's crazy people online. He didn't know if I was friend or foe. And I understand now people can be so obsessed, or people could hate you and just dislike you so much that you don't know what approach they'll have towards you. So I understand now in much better than I did initially. But I'm telling you guys all this to give you a backstory of Jay Wilson and my relationship. We are friends. Jay Wilson is like a big brother to me. He's not much older than me. Well, a few years. I'm actually 44 years old. So he's like a big brother. And, vlog father. I am from this house of Jay Wilson. So I support them, most likely, definitely. And I support Babe Nation. I'm part of both groups. But I'm telling you all this. So, okay, let me get back. I'm sorry. I went off on a tangent. So, Labor Day is approaching. I had my off days. I knew I was going to be in San Antonio for 3 days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I would be coming back Sunday. So, I left to come to San Antonio Friday before Labor Day, and I got there that night. So I had known that King Jives was gonna be there. I knew Five Babe was gonna be there. I had never heard of King Jives before. I looked at a couple of his videos after Jay was saying he was gonna come to San Antonio. So I was like, okay, let me see who this guy is. Thought he was funny. He had me cracking up. So I got to San Antonio like at 9 or 10. 9. It was at night. It was after they had went to eat. So I drive up to Jay Wilson's house. Quiet, nice neighborhood. Beautiful home. So when I pull up, I see Tracy D in the doorway. And I was like, Tracy D? And she looked at me and I was like, Rebel. So, of course, it was like an instant, we bonded instantly. But hugged her. But when they said Rebel, when I pulled up and they said, that's Rebel out there. And Five Babe came to the door. I walked in the house. It was such a good vibe that I felt. I felt just the love and brother and sisterhood of everyone. It was a great experience. And my meeting was Just it was phenomenal. I went in. Jives was there, and some other people. I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember who was out there. So walk in, meeting everybody. I thought everybody was just, it was great. We were talking, we set up, and I think that first night they did a live, and I was in the background. So I noticed, it's funny because when I look at the video later, I saw the comments that people were making. Some of the people, like Mr. Producer, someone else, they were saying, that guy, they want Rebel Son. Rebel Son, he needs to speak. He needs to say something. They want to hear my voice. I wasn't doing all that talking then because I was a background supporting person. I had my channel, but I hadn't done any videos. So therefore, I didn't feel the need to really be put into the spotlight per se. I was in the back, you saw me, but I didn't want to be overbearing, you know. So I learned a lot. And I really looked up to Jay and Phi, you know, as mentors to a certain extent, you know, because I knew the pitfalls of being a YouTube content creator. People are going to like you. People are going to hate you. There'll be people that'll be midway. They don't know what to make of you. But sometimes people feel that they own a part of you because you're doing videos. And I experienced that once before because I was on the Ricky Lake show. And this show's topic was confronting an ex. My friend from high school and I wanted to just go to New York. So the story was made up. Let me say that. But I was confronting him. And people saw that video and people were calling my family because I wasn't out. You know, I'm a gay man, but I wasn't really out per se with my family. But I was always rebellious. Hence why I'm Rebel. So I didn't give, you know, I didn't care about what people thought of me. So I was like, okay, why not let them know I'm gay at this moment? So the show came out. People saw the show. They were calling my family. Cousins that were fifth and sixth cousins down the line were calling my family saying, oh my God, he's gay. He's embarrassing the family. Of course, I had some choice words for them because my immediate family loved me regardless. I didn't get any backlash. You know, I grew up with gay people in my family, so it was never an issue. It was just my comfort level of coming out. But I saw how people could be obsessed. People would see me like somewhere in Houston and they would be like, saying it really loud, you know, that's the guy that was on Ricky Lake. That was the guy that was on Ricky Lake. I didn't think of it as a celebrity status at all, but it just, I guess it prepared me for now to realize that some people, I came to the realization that some people will feel that they own part of you because they watched you on YouTube. It's like it's like a version of reality TV. The talk show was like reality TV. It was just one segment that I was on, but it was something that people saw everywhere. So people that saw it knew someone that knew someone that knew someone that knew me. So I got that backlash. So I understood YouTube people will act like they know you. And it prepared me to have thicker skin because people are going to dissect everything about you just being on here. So the meat of this story was to tell you guys more about the San Antonio trip, basically. The next day, that Friday night we did the vlogging. You know, we stayed late to Jay's house. We stayed there late. I left, went back to my hotel room. I was staying at the Best Western Plus Hotel off of near the airport. But I drove home. I drove to the hotel. I was tired because you have to remember I drove from Houston, so the drive was like 3 hours. But I didn't sleep like I should have slept. I went out the night before because I was off that Friday. But the next day, we were going to have barbecue. We had barbecue. They did something that morning. They did something that morning that I didn't attend. But I did make barbecue. I went to have barbecue. Great. The barbecue was excellent. I don't eat red meat anymore, but I was tempted to relapse at that moment. When we were there, I almost relapsed. And I had to catch myself. But I had a turkey. It was sliced turkey on like a hoagie. The sides were not that much, but overall everything was good. You know, the food was great. We got our bags that said the House of Jay Wilson on them. You know, we had like a bracelet, an armband bracelet. It was a bag that said who Jay Wilson was, you know, when he talked about, you know, the things that he would eat. And it was a bag an introduction to Jay Wilson. If you didn't really know him, it was basically his favorite things to a certain extent. Now at this time, I had met Jives that Friday, and he was cool. They were laughing, they were kikiing. When he laughed when they said something about Tracy, but he didn't make any comments about Tracy. He just laughed. He had nothing to say about it. So I don't know why he apologized later on, you know, but that was his comfort level. He apologized, he felt he needed to, and I can do nothing but respect his choice. But that Saturday, when we went to eat barbecue, we left and we went to Jay Wilson's house. We sat up and, you know, we talked. It was just talking with people, laughing, you know, just one-on-one conversations. Tracy D, Phi Babe were really cool. I can't say that enough. Vivian Jennings, an angel. Vivian is so cool. She, such a down-to-earth person. Phi Babe, Tracy D, all down-to-earth. Tweety, sweetheart. Just everybody was really good people. There was nothing but a positive vibe. So I met Tweety, I met Phyllis, her mother. Oh my God, it was quite a few other people, but those were the main people I talked to. Was Phyllis, her mother, Tweety, Tweety's sister, Tracy D. You know, the people that weren't content creators, but, you know, moderators for content creators and people that were had new channels that hadn't really done any videos. But we went to eat at Basie's. We went to the barbecue place on that morning. We ate seafood that night. And keep in mind, Jay Wilson paid. When we went to the barbecue place, he paid for everyone. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't thinking he was going to pay for it, but he paid ahead of time for everybody. So we ate that night. We went and ate seafood, and this was Saturday night because we did the karaoke Saturday night. We went and we ate the seafood, went back to our rooms. Jay went home so we could, nap or whatever, because I wanted to take a nap before we went out that night. That night we went out. It was cool. The karaoke place. Well, first off, I was a little off-put by it because I saw these like redneck guys standing up with cowboy hats, and I was prepared for someone to be like, "You boys are not from these parts, are you?" But no one gave me that. It was like an Elks Lounge. It was an Elks Lounge, like a veterans type of building. So it was misleading because it was like you wouldn't have known it was a karaoke place because I passed it up with the GPS on my car twice on my phone. But we went in. It was an older crowd. Everybody was laid back, having a good time. I didn't do karaoke. I wanted to do karaoke, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I guess I was a little standoffish still about getting up and singing in front of everybody. But Five Babe got up there. She cut up, her and Jay Wilson. Vivian had a good time. She sang India Arie song. The energy, it was just, I can't say this enough. Everybody's energy was dead on. Everybody was having a great time. Stormy Weathers was there. Stormy Weathers made his appearance. And you couldn't have told me Stormy Weathers wasn't part owner, or his father or family owned that Elks Lounge, that veterans, that karaoke place. Let me say it, the karaoke place. Stormy Weather came in there with his clean white suit on, his hat. He was sharper than a knife that had been sharpened, baby, to cut some meat. He was on it. And Five Babe with her crazy behind. Ooh, that girl knows she don't have no sense. She scoped him out and she said, "What? Ooh, oh, oh, oh." Five Babe, Tracy D, y'all know y'all some damn fools. Y'all know that. And y'all, when I tell y'all, Stormy Weathers had this cup goblet. I could swear you could have poured a whole bottle of like Paul Masson or something in this huge glass. So Five Babe, she walked over there, baby, and they was checking. The men was checking Tracy D and Five Babe out. Them older gentlemen was in there like, "Ooh, we got us some young stuff in here." Five Babe, you know what you was doing. Been gave that damn man a heart attack just by him rubbing on your leg or something. But Stormy had me laughing. That man got up there, did his karaoke. He was channeling Elvis Presley. Let's just call it what it was. He had the ghost of Elvis Presley in him. Elvis Presley inhabited his body for that night. And he got up there, baby. Somebody took his jacket off. They put the jacket back on. He was stepping. He was turning. He was owning that stage. And Five Babe was dancing. She was like a backup dancer while he was, well, hell, Five Babe, Tracy, me, we were on the side dancing. When Stormy Weathers finished, Five Babe stayed out there dancing, and old Sugar Daddy approached Five Babe. Little old short man, about 5'3", 5'4". He dancing and he was in pure heaven. He had this young gal right here and he didn't know what to do. It was a Hispanic older guy that was dancing with fire also. And he was like, I think she bit off a little bit more than she could chew because he wasn't going nowhere. He was pushing up on her and Fi was like, oop, 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 oop. I killed myself laughing. Me and Deshaun was on the side. Deshaun Farley, we were laughing. We were just laughing like two brothers. And we stayed there. From there, we went back to Jay Wilson's house. Again, when we left that karaoke, we went to Jay Wilson's house. And, we sat up, we talked. They did another live. We were just having a great time. We stayed there so late. And they had to get up and go to church. They were going to church the next morning. I wasn't going to church. They were going to church, and I was like, some of y'all not going to show up for church. Because I know y'all was cocktailed. I was cocktailed, and I know I was laying it down. So contrary to popular belief, nothing was happening between Jives and I. Because I didn't even see him like that. I wasn't interested in him like that. I have someone that I am in a relationship with. But it was funny, the live, we were so hyped. I mean, it was just the energy. We fed off of each other's energy. And I thought it was going to be all good. That when Sunday came, I was coming back home because my brother was going out on a boat. And we were going to go out into the lake. And I was going to do some stuff with my family. So I didn't stay till Monday. I left Sunday. And that's when they had the vendors come in. The woman with that did the massages, the realtor, who else was it? It was someone, a travel agency of some sort. The people that did the desserts, a masseuse, it was some other business owners, black. And we went to nothing but black business owners and places to support our fellow black people. So I didn't think anything negative could have came out of this experience. I met new people that were like family. They became like an extended family to me. So it shocked me when I got back. And some days later, I text Vivian and Jay, and I told Jay how, happy and how grateful he was, just the epitome of class as a host. Vivian, anything you needed, Vivian was there. She was like, you want something to drink? You want this? You want that? You good? You do. Jay, that Saturday, Jay was like, Rebel, you want something to eat? I was playing, and I said I wanted some popcorn. You know the inside joke, the running joke with the popcorn. So they thought I was really hungry, and Vivian was like looking in the pantry, like, you want this? I was like, no, Vivian, Vivian, I'm just playing, I'm just kidding. Jay was like, Rebel, when it was time to go, he was like, hey, we can go get something to eat. He was ready to go to some restaurant and get something to eat without even a second thought. But I wasn't hungry. I laughed because he was so accommodating to everyone. That's why I'm a little bit thrown off, because of this narrative that's been spread that people had been used. No one was used. The money I put for eating and going out, I took like $150 budgeted myself $150 for eating for 3 days and going to a club. I'm not much of a drinker, so I wasn't going to be spending a lot of money on drinks. My dinner was going to probably be $30 a day. You know, so the 150 was going to take care of my eating and drinking, any activities that I did. I thought it wouldn't be over $150 for those 3 days. I used a full tank of gas to get there, and I still had gas in my car once I got there. I didn't have to put gas until I was like halfway back to Houston. But I came back with all of my money, except the money I put in my car for gas. I didn't spend anything on food. Now, I spent money maybe buying like something in a hotel to eat, you know, a snack or something, fast food. But my money was in my pocket. I left with more than what I came with simply because I got the bag. I got this shirt. I had, you know, nowhere near, at one time was I expecting to leave with that money in my pocket like I did. So when this narrative was started about people being set up, you know, with Jive saying he was set up, Five Babe and Jay Wilson set him up. That was a flat out lie. And they told Jive, I know that Jay told Jive that people were going to try to pull him in mess, because you got to keep in mind, Wally was telling Jives not to come. He didn't want Jives to come simply because he wasn't coming. He was trying to sabotage the whole meet and greet. Jives was reluctant to come at first, but decided to come. He was there, and Wally was calling his phone while they were doing a live. While Wally was calling him while they were doing a live, and Jives looked at his phone and saw it was Wally calling. So no one in this sector that we're in pulled Jives into mess from Jay Wilson's camp or Five Babe's camp or any other person's camp that were there in that house. No one pulled Jives into mess. It was Wally and those other folks over there with that mess, because they didn't want the meet and greet not to happen. Basically, they didn't want it to happen. Wally was trying to sabotage because he wasn't there. He wasn't invited. So, of course, they didn't want it to happen. They got into Jive's ear, and him being a person that's not mentally stable and his mind is easily directed into other areas. Let's just say that. He let them make him think that somebody was out to get him, or if that was a game he was playing. I'm not for certain which one, but it was a bunch of BS. Jay Wilson has someone he's in a relationship with. He wasn't interested in Jives. Then they started that narrative that Jives and I had something going on, because I, in the background, and I'm standing beside him, I have someone. I'm in a relationship. I didn't see Jives in any romantic way. But I'm just terribly let down, because I looked at Jives. I look at him now in a different light, because it was unnecessary. Guys, I've talked longer than what I had anticipated. My phone is low. I'm going to end this video. I'll do part 2 tomorrow. But to, you know, just give you guys some more insight on everything that happened, because I was there. I want you guys to realize that for the 2020 Labor Day meet and greet, it's going to be more fun. People are more excited about it, and we're going to have a good time. You guys, again, this is my first video. I may have been all over the place, but, you know, it was fun. I'm Rebel Son. I'm going to check out. You guys, I will see you tomorrow. Peace.